Let's make a start. Welcome everybody to our webinar on materials, adding materials and creating new ones where we find them. Everything to do with materials except for downloading them from StoreMaster. There's already a video on our YouTube about that. What we're going to cover today is locating the materials tables in Windows Explorer, locating the folders that the images of the materials are saved into, downloading images from supplier websites, and creating new materials through CabMaster. And we'll also look at setting up or adding materials data sources in the catalog properties. On the left-hand side of the interface for the webinar, under Q&A, you can ask your question by typing them in down the bottom. Please keep any questions you have related to the subject. We're currently using CabMaster version 11.1.0.121, which is the most recent version. We'll share my screen now so that we can go into our screen. There we go, share. Other versions may have different features and functions. If you want to download materials from the StoreMaster website, again, there is a video on the StoreMaster webpage of that process. It's also on YouTube. We are not going to discuss that today. Right, so just to reiterate, by the end of this session, you should be able to find and create backups of your materials tables, download images of new materials, and save them to the correct locations, create and edit materials in CabMaster, and apply materials data sources that you want in your drawing properties or catalog properties. So you should have nearly a full understanding of everything materials. We're going to start by locating the materials tables within Windows Explorer. To do that, open up CabMaster. We're going to go to File, Options, File Locations. Look up tables. So this shows the file location for the tables folder. We right click, select all, right click and copy. If we open up File Explorer down the bottom, go up to here, right click and paste, hit enter. This is the folder that contains your materials tables. The tables contain information about all the materials, like the thickness, the name, the brand. The tables down the bottom that start with materials and then the dash, they relate to tables in the materials folder here. So do not open or edit these tables, don't move them, don't rename them. This is just about knowing where they are so that you can create a backup of your materials tables before you want to start editing them through CabMaster or adding them in from StoreMaster. To make a backup, right click on your table folder, send to compressed zip folder. That will make a backup of it. You can call it, say, tables underscore backup underscore and then the date. I always recommend making a backup of your tables folder before editing or creating new materials. This way, if something goes wrong, you can go back to where you were. You haven't lost anything. If you download a material set from StoreMaster that has the same name as one of the tables, so same name as one of these tables, it isn't going to add to that table, it will replace it. So if you have custom materials in one of those tables and you replace it, you will lose them. So locating the folders for the images that materials are saved into, i.e. the bitmap folder, we'll go back to CabMaster. We'll go to Pictures, Textures and Styles. It's the same process, select all, copy into File Explorer. Select all, we don't need to, we just go paste, sorry, and hit enter. This is the bitmap folder. Specifically, if we go to cabinet and then color, this is where all the images for your materials are saved into. As you can see, they're titled by brand and each brand's range, I guess you could call it, or their series of colors. Again, don't rename these, don't delete them, don't move them. What we can do here is add new ones. So to add a new material image to here, we're going to go to a manufacturer supplier website. And we can do that by opening up a web browser. Let's say we've gone to Laminex. We want natural walnut. We'll click on that. We will then right click on our image and save image as. Now we want to save it into our bitmap folder. Fortunately, we already know where that is. Right click, copy, right click, paste, enter. Now we could save this into any of these folders that are already here. You could go through and find one, or if you want to create a new one, you can do so here. So right click, new folder, and I'm going to call it webinar materials. Open up that one, and we'll rename this to Laminex _ natural walnut. Save. Now we have saved the image, we need to create a material in CabMaster and assign this image to it. So we'll close the web browser. We don't need that anymore. And we don't need that. We can close options. Then in CabMaster, we'll open up drawing properties. We will go to Materials Advanced and then Manager. The drop-down list here lets us select which material table or data source that we want to add the new material to. I'm going to choose Laminex, and then I'm going to click Manage. This is the Materials Manager interface. It's where we can edit and create materials. So we have type, which is door, panel, bench, etc. We have group, which is their range or their series within the brand. And then we have the material name. So if we go Impressions Ravine, we can select them there. We can't create a material type. They are limited to what is there, but we can create new groups and we can create new names. So say I want to create a new door material and I want to put it into Impressions Ravine. I can select the material type, the group I'm putting it in, and then if we go and find one that is similar that we can work off, we can see that it shows the material, this information here. We can change the brand, we can change the thickness, we can change the color, we can change any of this. If we don't change the name, all we will do is save what we already have. So the first thing we do is change our name. Natural walnut space tab. And we can see that save has become save as. This means it's going to save as a new material and not overwrite the existing. So we'll go through here. We want Laminex. We do want it to be 18 mil because it's in 80 mil impressions woven. We're going to change that to natural walnut. Now this is the list of folders that is in a file explorer. So that's this list of folders here. So if we go down there, there's our webinar materials. And this one is what is within that folder. So I probably should clarify within here, don't put other folders within these folders because it won't show them. We can also add a finish. This won't affect the drawing. This is only going to show up for reporting. So let's just put, say, matte in there. So we've changed the name, we've changed the color, we've selected our new material color. We can go save as. We are not done yet though. We need this to be exportable to EasyNest with the correct name. So if we go to options, we can see that we can choose whether it's going to be an edged material or not. So apply edge banding or don't. Whether it's going to the CNC or not. And what name it will go to the CNC as, or to EasyNest or NRoute as. So we'll call that natural oak in there as well. Natural walnut, I should say. We do not put door or panel on the end of that. And the reason is that you want your doors and your panels to nest together rather than exporting as separate materials and then potentially nesting as separate materials. OptiLink is for panel estimator. There is a webinar video on that as well that explains all that. You don't need to worry about giving that a name. You could give it a part number if you got that from, say, the Laminex website. Again, that is just really for reporting, ordering, that sort of thing. If it's a grained material, you will have grained tick. If it's a flat color, just untick it. So the rotate 0, this will rotate the grain in CabMaster and how it exports, but it won't rotate the image. So if your grain is vertical in the image, set your rotate as 0. If it's horizontal, set the rotate as 90. We'll click save. We're going to update what we already have there. We'll click yes. We'll click apply. We'll click OK. We'll click apply. So now if we go to job setup and we go to materials and we go floor door, we should be able to find under HTML impressions machine, there is our new door material. What you'll notice is that here we cannot select door material as our panel, so it's not going to show in this list. So we need to create a panel material. That's very easy. Back to Materials Advanced, Manager, Laminex is still selected. Click on Manage. If we go back to Details and we select the material we were just working on, that one there, first thing we'll do immediately is change that from door to panel. Then we can change this to panel. Now we've got save as, it's going to save a new material in panel. We click save as, we go yes. Again, because we haven't put panel or door on the end of the CNC name, your panels and doors will export together. We can go apply and OK. Back to job setup, into materials. And now we can select natural oak, natural walnut panel. What we do have or what we don't have actually, is an edge tape color. You'll see that it's not there. It goes straight to a Murray Oak. So if we go back to Materials Advanced to create an edge, Laminex is selected. We'll go back in there, go back to Details. We'll select Edge, Laminex 1mm impressions, and you'll see that it's not there. So we'll just base it off the Sublime Teak like we did before. We'll change the name first. I don't know why I've got natural oak stuck in my head. Natural walnut. Click Tab. That can all stay the same. That can change. Click Tab. And again, navigate to the image we downloaded. We'll go Save As. We've saved our new edge material. If we go to Options, you can see that none of that is ticked except for grained. So we can go Apply, OK, back to Job Setup, then Materials. And now we should, in this list, be able to find 1mm impressions, ravine, natural walnut. What you might have noticed, or you may not have noticed, it was very subtle, is in our door options, there is also a door profile or a style. What we'll do is we'll load up our door again. See how we now have door style there. I will load up and that will. We go to door style. These are non-machinable door styles. They are not like DoorMaster LT where you can output machining. This is just purely for visual. You've got a list or a group of door styles and then all the door styles within that. And it even shows you a little picture of what it's doing. So let's say Colonial Arch. You can save this door profile or this door style to the door material, this specific door material. Bear in mind, if you do this, do it after you've created your panel material. If you add a door style and then use this material to create a panel, it will apply that door style to the panel, but you won't have the option to get rid of it. So always create all your materials, door, panel, edge, and then go back and add your door style. The last thing I'm going to talk about is materials data sources. Materials data sources are just the materials tables, essentially. We know where to find them in File Explorer. That's what we did at the start. You can have up to 9 of them in the drawing at any given time. So if we go to in drawing properties, my setup, materials data sources, we have a list here. We can tick them on. We can select each one. If you wanted to have a set specific list, you could do that for your catalog properties by going File, Prepare, Catalog Properties. Click OK. And it's just like drawing properties, but it's all in pink. What that's going to do is make permanent changes. So if we do something like that, to future drawings, we'll go Apply and OK. Close down CabMaster. We don't need to save the drawing. It will ask if we want to save changes to cmcabinets.qim, which is our catalog. Click yes. close CabMaster down, reopen it. I'll just open up a new drawing. Go OK. So in our drawing properties, if we go to My Setup, Materials Data Sources, you'll now see that I have all those Laminexes there. So that wraps up nearly everything you're going to need to know about adding materials, editing materials. Again, make sure you change the name, and then the save will become Save As. Do not delete anything within Files Explorer or File Explorer. Do not change the names, do not move them. Only do it within CabMaster itself. If you choose to make changes to any of the materials through CabMaster, go through File Explorer, make a backup of the tables folder. So if you have any questions relating to creating materials, we can go through them now. Please remember that we're working with version 11.1 and to keep any questions related to the subject. It doesn't look like there's any questions coming through. So thank you everyone for joining today's webinar, and I hope that you will be able to go out there and create your own materials and add what you need to your CabMaster to make it work for you. Have a good weekend.